Hi everyone, my name is Alicia Montalvo and today I'm going to be giving my persuasive speech on how people can mitigate the effects of pollution. Pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. Harmful materials are called pollutants and they can also be created by human activities such as our trash and the runoff produced by factories. Pollutants overall damage the quality of our air, our water, our land, but people can mitigate the effects of pollution by taking actions, being more mindful, reducing our waste, and taking control of our ecological footprint by using reusable and biodegradable products and more. First, pollution is a very serious global problem, and humans must be more mindful of our actions in order to mitigate this issue. Our Earth suffers itself with the landfills we have, where all the trash we have collects up and creates our land pollution. Our land pollution is so bad that we are actually running out of space very, very quickly for all of this waste to go. Okay, so since we are on the topic of landfills, I wanted to include a visual aid of showing exactly what these landfills look like. This photo is from the National Geographic website. This is real. And this is just one example of many, many landfills. But yeah, it's getting very bad, and eventually we're not going to have any space for all this trash to go to. Continuing on, not only does the trash that we have create this land pollution, but most of our everyday uses as humans contributes to the overall pollution of the earth in the air. So, for example, most of us probably drive a car every day to work, to school, the grocery store, a friend's house, wherever it is we're going, we're probably driving a car. And because we're driving a car, we're spewing pollutants from our exhaust pipes, therefore polluting our air. Additionally, we burn coal to produce electricity, and we all use electricity every day, so we're technically not burning the coal, but to create electricity, that's what we do, and that pollutes the air. In our homes, we have garbage. We throw stuff out every day. We all have garbage cans. We all take out our garbage. But where does the garbage go? So, there's so many ways that we as humans, just every day, we don't really think about it, but we are contributing to the pollution. But not only are we contributing to the pollution, think about all the mass companies and industries that severely pollute the air. I mean, have you guys ever driven on the thruway and you see factories downtown? You can literally see the black smoke just constantly coming out of the chimneys at these factories that just pollute the air. These companies mass produce product that we all spend our money on, and most of the time we end up getting rid of things all the time that we spend our money on from these mass companies. And that's just generating waste in itself. And I know I'm guilty of every single thing I'm discussing right now. I buy a lot of clothing and I get rid of a lot of clothing, or I throw out clothing, or I donate. But yeah, I'm just trying to point out the fact that we all contribute to pollution in one way or another. The list basically can go on forever of all the ways that we pollute our earth. Because this is such a serious global issue, that this requires action from everyone, including you. And you should be motivated as a person to be a part of that change and take action to mitigate the effects of pollution on Earth. Because if pollution on our Earth gets any worse, there won't be an Earth. If pollution gets worse, it will affect the lives of our future generations and severely affect the ecosystems of animals and the microecosystems as well, which are all very necessary for the balance of life. This speech should motivate us also to take action because Earth is our home, and we want to protect not only ourselves right now and the generations of people ahead of us, but our animals and our aquatic ecosystems as well, which a lot of pollution affects the water. It doesn't matter how micro or how large the ecosystem is either, because at the end of the day, we all depend on Earth's resources of air and water. So when these resources and these ecosystems are being threatened, all life is being threatened, not just humans, but the threat of other ecosystems and smaller animals and life forms affects our life form as well. Second, reducing the waste that we generate every day would be a small action that would make a big change for pollution if all people participated, including you. The actions we can take as humans to reduce waste will significantly mitigate the effects of pollution. The first action people should take is to reduce their waste and promote more sustainable practices in their everyday lives. First, one action we can take is to simply never litter. Always throw out your trash, and if you can, recycle materials. And speaking of specific materials, one of the major pollutants is plastic. The second thing we can do is to try and stop using as much plastic as we can. I know it's hard, trust me. And I know we all go and get, drinks from places. The cups are plastic, the straws are plastic, but if we can try to limit it, even if it's not every single time, it really does make a difference. But if you can cut out plastic entirely, that would be amazing. Because when plastic is produced, it's made from very toxic materials such as benzene and vinyl hydrochloride. Basically, plastic is destined to be toxic from birth to forever. It's not going to go away. Once it's out there, and it goes into our earth, and this is our home. So I'm not sure why we thought that was a good idea, but these chemicals in plastic, too, are also known to cause cancer, and the manufacturing byproducts contaminate our air and our soil. So I know a lot of us see, pictures or people talking about, use a metal straw, reusable straw, save the turtles when that was a thing, and pictures of like turtles with plastic around them, which is very terrible and sad. And yes, that does happen. But plastic doesn't only affect our oceans, like it contaminates our air and soil. Like the chemicals in plastic are terrible. So I don't know why we use it, I do know why we use it, but we need to stop. But one thing we can do to help this is we can take action by using reusable products instead. I'm going to touch more on that in a second, but first I want to show you guys a couple more visuals. Okay, this is the second visual that I wanted to include in my speech today. It's the plastic pollution life cycle. So we start out at extraction, and you can see the picture. And then we go to plastic production, and then we go to point of sale, and then obviously the consumers, that would be like we're making the plastic, the companies are buying the plastic, they're using the plastic to make the products that we buy, like a lot of things have plastic in them. And then it goes to the waste, which the trash, or water, or land, as we know, and then dumping and burning. We also burn plastic too. We do a lot of things to plastic that just contaminate our air, our soil, our land, our water. But this kind of gives you a good visual representation of like this happens all day, every day. And the cycle will just keep continuing until we as people make it stop. But it's really hard to do that when someone like me or you is, an average person. And we don't really have power to just be like, yeah, no more plastic. But we can take control by using reusable products, which I'm going to touch on. Okay, this is my third visual, which I kind of talked about before, how you could see the turtle, there's jellyfish, other animals in the sea, obviously, other than turtles, but just showing the plastic. And that's all from us. We got some treats, plastic bottle, plastic bag, plastic cup, a plastic bag. It's just kind of just another visual. I'm sure you guys already know though. And yeah, just give you another visual. So as you guys just saw from those visuals and everything I was saying, plastic severely pollutes our environment, our land, our air, and it pollutes our oceans, as you guys saw in that last visual. But I'm gonna tell you what we can do to specifically reduce our waste of plastic by taking action. First of all, we can use reusable grocery bags. I use them, and it saves you money because most of the time now you have to pay for the paper bags. I really haven't seen many places that still have plastic bags, which is really great. That was like a big step that we took, but they still exist. I definitely see them sometimes, but if you always have a reusable bag, then you won't even have to worry about the risk of using a plastic bag or even a paper bag, because we end up just throwing those out too most of the time. Another thing we can do, instead of using plastic straws and cups, if you can, try to never use them, but I know it's hard. I'm guilty. I get Starbucks or Tim Hortons sometimes, and they use plastic cups and straws, but you can actually buy a reusable straw. I have some myself that I'll use at home, but I've seen these reusable straws at Target. Like, it literally folds up and you can put it on your keys. So if you're interested in doing that, that's something you could use instead of a plastic straw. Also though, is to never buy like plastic utensils or paper plates or plastic plates from the store, and just use regular silverware and regular dishware. And obviously we clean and reuse that, whereas the plastic utensils, paper plates, plastic plates, all that stuff, we use it and then we throw it out, and there's no need for that. We can take the time to wash our dish. But yeah. Lastly, in my persuasive speech today, I'm going to be talking about taking action and control over our own ecological footprints. We can slow down the effects of pollution if we take control of our own ecological footprints. Our ecological footprint would be to call it the impact of human activities measured in terms of the area of biologically productive land and water required to produce the goods consumed and to assimilate the waste generated. What contributes to your ecological footprint is your human activity and the resources and the waste produced by you, or humans in general. Simple things we can do to take action to reduce our ecological footprint and help as people to mitigate the effects of pollution are to reduce our use of single-use disposable plastics, make the switch to renewable energy, eat less meat, reduce your waste, recycle responsibly, drive less, walk more, or ride your bike, and reduce your water use, invest in sustainable fashion, and support local businesses. So I'm going to be showing another visual aid. This one is a video about our ecological footprint, just to kind of give you a better understanding of what it is, and yeah, share some more information with you guys.
Our human activities consume resources and produce waste, and nature needs to have the capacity to meet these demands. The ecological footprint is a way to measure our human demand on nature. Every one of us has an ecological footprint. The footprint represents the impact of a person, a household, a city, a business, or a country on nature. Things like food, energy, transportation, goods and services all contribute to our ecological footprint. The footprint is expressed as the amount of land and water required to produce what we consume and to absorb the waste we generate. By measuring the ecological footprint, we can assess the pressure our lifestyle puts on the planet. This helps us to manage our ecological assets more wisely and to take personal and collective action.
Yeah, I wanted to include that video because I feel like not many people know or just think about our ecological footprint a lot. I know I really haven't until I started doing my research for this paper. Like, I knew what it was, but I wasn't very conscious of it all the time. So I think that quick little video right there does a really good job of explaining and visually showing why we need to be a part of the change and how easy it is too. But overall, pollution is a very serious global issue that affects our land, our water, and our air. Pollution is destroying our earth and its inhabitants. But when we as people take the actions necessary, we can mitigate the effects of pollution by taking our actions, like I discussed, of being more mindful, reducing our waste, and taking control of our ecological footprint by using reusable and biodegradable products. We can save our planet if we can all come together and do our part. I hope you will be a part of the change of saving our earth and help stop pollution from destroying our home. Thank you so much for listening to my speech.